What's going on, guys? The tongue is back. And today, I got a beer review for you. We're going to be looking at Sawtooth Ale Nitro by Left Hand Brewing. Now, I have had this beer before, and it is one of my favorites. And Left Hand is one of my favorite breweries out of Colorado. It's actually one of my favorite breweries just overall. But I have not had this one on Nitro yet, that I can remember anyways. If I have, it's been a while. But, yeah, so I thought I would give this one a go. Anyways, this is a great Left Hand Brewing. Really does some delicious beers. Their milk stout is the best milk stout I've ever had, hands down. There's a reason why it gets gold medals at beer competitions and festivals and stuff. It says, brewed on the banks of the mighty St. Vrain. Super smooth, nutty malt flavors balanced by herbal hops. It's 5.3 alcohol by volume. And it says enjoy at 40 to 45 degrees in a pub glass or just a pint glass, like right here. And it even has instructions right here on how to pour this. And Nitro beers, you do pour a little bit differently, and I will show you how to do that in just a moment. I was able to find a little bit more info on this on Untapped. It says super smooth, nutty malt flavors balanced by herbal hops, which they already had on the label. Says don't call it a comeback. This beer's been here for years, and it has. I believe this was the first beer that Left Hand brewed. It was the first one that they did, or it's been their kind of flagship beer for a very long time. We mixed nitrogen into our award-winning Sawtooth Ale, making American-style ESB even smoother and more sessionable. When poured hard, this amber beer cascades down your glass, breaking into a thick and creamy head that distributes goodness evenly across your palate. Nutty malt flavors wrap melodiously with herbal, earthy hops to deliver the perfect balance of palate graffiti. Interesting. Yeah, anyways, like I said, I've had this one before, and it is actually really good, and it is an ESB, which stands for Extra Special Bitter, which is an English-style beer. This one is just more of an American version of that, using different hops and things that they would use than the English would use, I believe. And so typically when you pour a beer, you'd set it on the side like this and pour it this way. When you're pouring a Nitro beer, turn it straight upside down like this and pour your beer. It's that easy, folks. And notice how it's like cascading down. That's what happens when you get a Nitro beer, a beer with the nitrogen in there instead of the regular CO2 carbonation. And I love a good Nitro beer. Typically, you see Nitro beers stouts are very popular with Nitro beers, Scotch ales, and just different English beers. So this one should be very good with nitrogen. And actually, Left Hand is it was the first, and I think still possibly even the only brewery, actually to use nitrogen without a widget. Typically, there's a thing inside the bottle called a widget, which when you pour the beer, it kind of shakes the beer up and gives it the nitrogen that it needs. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but anyways, this does not have that. They have specialized equipment for when they bottle the beer it automatically adds the nitrogen in it a certain way. I don't know. It's very different the way they do this as compared to most other nitrogen beers. But anyways, it's got a nice 1 to 2 finger head. It was about a 2 finger head earlier. It stayed very well. Nice and creamy and frothy. It definitely has an amber color to it. Obviously you're not going to see really any carbonation because there's no CO2 in this. It's all nitrogen. It looks just great. It really does. It's clear, but it's not like super clear. It's slightly cloudy / hazy. It's got a nice, slightly off-white head. Let's get the aroma on this. And definitely getting the very nutty flavors. Malty, bready. A little bit of a sweetness, and you smell some of those hops a little bit. Not a whole lot, but you definitely smell some hops in there. Smells delicious. Cheers. Oh. I mean, it's so rich and smooth. It's just super, super smooth. And it tastes, it tastes just like the description. It's very kind of nutty. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. The thing I love about, the thing I love about Nitro beers is they're very rich and creamy and kind of velvety. This is exactly that. It's got that, creamy feel to it. It's slightly a bit watery on the mouthfeel. I kind of wish it was a little bit more. It wasn't quite as watery. It feels watery on the mouthfeel. And I don't know if that's just because of the nitrogen in there, and it's making it do that or whatnot. Because I've had other Nitro beers that aren't as watery tasting as this one, but it's still a very, very good beer. Very easy to drink. Very easy to drink. If you ever had like a Boddington's Pub Ale, this is going to be a similar beer, although it's a bit darker due to the malts they used. Due to the malts used in the beer. But very, very good beer. I would probably give this one a 7 out of 10. If it didn't have that little bit of wateriness to it, I would have given it about an 8 or a 9. But it was a little bit thin, even for a Nitro, especially for a Nitro beer. It's a little bit thin. But this one is great, man. I mean, if you want a good, easy to drink beer with lots of flavor, and if you like a little bit more malty beers, but malty beers that also have a slight bite to it from the hops. Not a lot of bite, just a slight bite from the hops. And this is a beer that you will definitely enjoy. I know I'm going to enjoy drinking the rest of this. And thanks for watching, folks. I will see you in the next video.